Welcome back. So this is the finish of the pocket, the front pocket. That's what that looks like. All right, so set aside your front pattern for a while. Now we're moving on to step number 10, which is attaching the side back to the back, basically, which is attaching the side back to the back. Down to, if you're doing my version B, there is a dot at the bottom. So you're gonna sew, we sew from hem up, remember? So we're gonna sew from the hem, from this dot all the way up to the top of your pants there. And then it says it's gonna press your seams, just like you did in the front. Press your seams toward the back pattern above the large dot. Then number 11, we're going to top stitch it top stitch the back. So now we're going to be working on the back side. So your seam allowance obviously should be toward the back, and you're basically attaching the seam allowance to the back pattern piece. So you're going to top stitch 1/4 inch from the upper edge to the large circle. Let me go back here for a second. Okay, sorry, going back to number 10 for a second. It said once you stitch it from the dot to the top there, it says you're going to clip the side back at large circle. So you're going to clip the seam allowance only on the side back, okay? And that all that does is open up your seam allowance so it'll lay flat. Then you're going to press your seam allowances toward the back, even though that's okay. We're going to press it all toward the back, and then again moving down to 11, doing that top stitch. And then it says for number 12, you're going to finish the side opening edges below the large circle with a 5/8 of an inch narrow hem, squaring stitches at the large circle. So just like a vent, just think of it as a vent. Finish it how you want to finish it. You can do a narrow hem. Since I finished my edges, I'll probably just fold it over at 5/8. Is probably what I would do. But you want to come up, and then just above that large circle, you want to sew across, then come back down. So that's what I mean by squaring it at the large circle. Right, so that's 10, 11, and 12. And as you can see, kind of already have mine put together. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and finish your raw edges of your back and your side back pattern. So I just went all the way basically around, except for the waistline and the hem. I did not serge those, but other than that, that's it. And what I wanted to point out here is, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of pins here because of the way I altered my pattern. I had to cut. And just in case you do, you know, think of this almost like a princess seam. You may have to clip into it because it's a curve going on more of a straight, being attached to more of a straight edge. So you may have to clip into the one that's shorter, okay? And that's what I kind of had to do here, as you can see. See my little clips kind of at the top, and that's why you see more of the pins here, not just because I was pin happy. All right, so go ahead and do those steps and come back when we're done. So just showing you that I clipped the side back right there, and I pressed the seam allowance toward the back, so it is basically under this side, the back pattern. See, because that's the curve there. And I put a pin where my zipper stop is. Not zipper stop, you know, this little vent opening there. And as I was going, I was pressing it like that, so make sure that it was flat and putting a pin. So I'm gonna do that, and now I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch on the back side, okay? Then repeat on the other side. Do that and come back. Okay, so just wanted to show you what the opening looks like, and you can see this is the part that you clipped, the side back part that you clipped, and you want to open it up 5/8, press it, put pins in it, and then what you're going to do is stitch here, go across to a T, come back down. Now see, I just did a you know, serge mine, and that's how I'm going to leave mine, but you can pin out so you can see, press it under like that, and so it'll be a clean finished edge. So your either desire that you want to do. All right, do that, and then we'll be finished with this. Okay, so we are finished with those steps. So just give you a look at top stitching there. Everything was pressed toward the back pattern, and we went ahead and finished the little vent at the bottom. All right, so we'll be moving on to step number 13. All right, we are moving on to step number 13, which basically says turn in 1/4 inch on upper edge of each back pocket, which is number 9, and press it. I searched around all of mine because fraying issues, and my serger thread is about 1/4 inch. Okay, so I don't really need to do anything there. So then turn upper edge to outside along fold lines, stitch ends, and trim seams. All right, so we're gonna work backwards. We're gonna do it this way. All right, so with right side facing up, you should have either marked or clipped some notches like I did here. And what you're gonna do is fold it back onto itself, so it's right side to right side at those particular marks. You can go ahead and press that. My particular fabric, it's a nice little crease that I can do. And then from here, you wanna fold back. So basically it's wrong side to wrong side. You should be looking at the right side of that fold, up like that. Alrighty, and so this is what it should look like. All right, so what you should do now is what they tell you to do is at 5/8 stitch these down on the sides, on both sides. Okay, now what I'm going to do is hold these some pins in here real fast. I can tell you. All right, so I'm going to carry that stitch all the way down around, all the way up. Okay, and I'm gonna use that as a guide to turn. And actually I'm going to sew from this side because I made guide marks on this side, but when I sew, I'm just going to make sure that, you know, the 1/4 is flipped up. Catch that. So I'm gonna stitch from there down. Here's my guide of my 5/8 seam allowance, because these corners are a little tricky. So I want to make sure that I hit that little crosshair there and there to equal the 5/8. So go down, round, and back up. So do that for both of them. All right, so back from the sewing machine. I'm giving this a good press. All right, so now what you want to do is clip the seam allowance here. So you're basically cutting into it, making like a little L. Oops, like that. A L. Cutting anything that way, and then you clipping that way to get rid of that bulk. That's all you're doing there. And as you can see, I did my stitch line. Let me show you here. Stitch line as a guide to help me with turning. All right, try to poke out your corners as you can. If you have a tool, go ahead and use that. So now I'm just going to press along my guideline here. Make sure to bring the stitching so I can see them. Just rolling them over the stitches so I can see. So it won't be stitches on the right side. No, even if it is, it's not the end of the world. I always take them out. Alrighty, and so this is gonna get folded up like this. So it'll look like that. And so I try to put pins to keep it in place. Those points. Without sticking myself. Alrighty, so now you want to roll this. So kind of looks like that. You can see inside. You most definitely can put pins right here as well. Right now, hold those corners in place. Now what you want to do is take it to your sewing machine, and it's up to you whether or not you want to they say to baste. Let me put it that way. They want you to baste along the lower edge here, and then turn it over and top stitch along your basting, and then remove your basting. Okay, but you can either just regular top stitch here if you don't mind the bobbin on the right side, or if you want to have the top stitch on the right side, you just got to try to feel where that fold is, come up maybe a 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, 1/8 of an inch, and go like that. So either one that you want to do. I don't typically mind my bobbin being on this side, but I'll try to top stitch from this right side. So go ahead and do that and come back. Okay, one was done with the bobbin on the top, one was done with the top thread on the top. So which one is which? Can you tell? Which one is the bobbin on top? Which one is the top thread on top? They look very similar, right? Okay, so that's the reason why I don't really mind sewing with the bobbin. So just to let you know, this one was the bobbin. Oops. So I sew with the top on the bottom. And so this is the top, the bobbin thread on top. So if I hold them up, where we at? Do it like that. Not really that much of a difference, right? So that's why I don't really mind. Okay, so moving on. Let's see. Alrighty, so we're at 17 now. We're going to pin the pocket to the back side back. So we need the back side back that we just did, matching small and large circles. Top stitch 1/4 inch from the sides and lower edge. So we're going to place it. As you can see, there you should have some markings on your pants. Okay, so we're going to place it, and then we're going to top stitch 1/4 inch along the sides, angle, bottom, angle, and back up, back stitching at both ends. All right, do that. And all right, so back from the sewing machine, and guess what? I did not have my placements. So I guesstimated where this should be, so hopefully they're not too crooked, you know, once I put them on. So as you can see, I did 1/8 of an inch, and then from the 1/8 of an inch I did 1/4 of an inch. So I did two rows for mine. All right, so that's it for this video. And so we have gone down to number 17. We will be picking it back up at number 18. Okay, I'm also going to do view C, which is the cargo pocket. So if you want to add the cargo pocket to the pants, go ahead and cut that pattern out and do all the markings and things of that nature, and we'll be installing the cargo pocket as well. Okay, all right, until next time, happy sewing.